Okay, so I was going to get on Hearthstone to do some dailies and stuff, maybe do a video on the new Tavern Brawl and, like, check out how that is, and who knows. If it's something different, I'll do a video on it probably, but it's probably not. It's probably going to be some same crap like Nuclear's birthday party, which everyone hated, I think. Can't remember. Anyway, but I saw that we've got some balance changes coming up, and it's about fucking time. I'm sorry for the language, but Jesus Christ, this has taken so long for them to do. It's been like, I swear it has been nearly a year without a single balance change. Face German has been so apparent, Cthulhu cards are just way too powerful and stuff. It's just crazy, so it's good that we're going to get balance changes and stuff, that the game will at least be different. But let's see how good they actually are, because this is Blizzard, and Blizzard, I'm not sure they even I'm not sure the people that do the cards and stuff even actually play the game. And I feel some people do there. I'm not trying to insult all the designers and stuff of it. I'm sure some of you work really hard and do wonderful work, but there just seems to be like someone there that keeps missing the point of what's wrong with cards. Anyway, enough of that. Let's start reading into this. Of the year of the Kraken, we've seen Hearthstone meta game defined and redefined by our players. As a result, we've seen a wider variety of deck archetypes, like more face, and I guess Cthulhu and Yogg-Saron and stuff. But I mean, hey, we've faced things still very prominent. With the introduction of new cards to the Hearthstone card pool comes additional chances to innovate and discover new decks. Sometimes the introduction of additional cards can lead to older cards gaining an overall power level boost. Can't really think of where that's happened so much in the meta. Like, I really can't think of how that's actually occurred so far in the game. Keeping Hearthstone fresh in mind, we want to be acutely aware of the overall power levels of our cards contained within the basic and classic sets, since those cards don't rotate out, which is a good thing. You want to make sure that the cards in the basic and classic sets are balanced. A good deal of them aren't, so if we have changes to make cards more balanced, that's the better. Anyway, so Shaman has been representing a large portion of decks with face all over the place. Happy that Shaman has many deck building options to choose from, which are now like Spell Damage Shaman and Face Shaman. I mean, that's really like the only two. Heck, Spell Damage Shaman isn't even parallel. Face Shaman pretty much is all that exists in the meta. There's plenty of Shaman decks you can do, just like there's plenty of any class decks you can do, but the only one people care about is Face Shaman. So I can see they've I can see something's happened to Rockbiter. So let's see. Let's see, it's got a bit of mass burst damage. Yeah, I know, Doom Hammer and fucking double Rockbiter on it for 16 damage. Preserving some of the synergistic potential of a Rockbiter, but decreasing its value as a removal tool by changing the cost of the... Oh my god! How do you miss the point so hard? How? How? Oh my god! That does like nothing! Rockbiter, the issue with Rockbiter is that it can be used on your hero with Doomhammer to form near an OTK for 16 damage. This inclusion only means that the player has to like play Doomhammer, wait a turn, and then play Rockbiter on themselves, and they've still got 16 damage from that. That's what they did pretty much anyway. All this does is make the interactive elements of Rockbiter, the whole thing of using it as a removal tool, even weaker. I don't know how you'd change Rockbiter to not have the stupid interaction with Doomhammer. Heck, I think probably Doomhammer should be the thing that gets changed. Make it that it's got less charges or something, or, I don't know, has an interesting effect instead of Wind Fury. But, I mean, like, Wind Fury is an interesting effect to have on a weapon, yes, but given the fact it's on the class which has Rockbiter weapon, not so much. But it's just... They missed the point so hard with Rockbiter weapons nerf. It's just... Anyway, Tuskar Totemic. We feel that Tuskar Totemic is contributing to totem-focused decks. Not really. I mean, you say totem focused, it's like Tuskar, Totemic, Totem Golem, and Thing from Below. That's all the totems. Sometimes you'll see someone actually running a fully fledged totem deck. But yeah. We want this card to be an option for decks to take advantage of extra turns through things like Thing from Below or Primal Fusion, but a weak option for players looking for standalone high level power on turn 3. This is actually a good change here, because for the Totem Shamans out there, the ones that have decided to ignore the ridiculous stupidity of the Face Shaman and instead gone for something a bit more interesting, this card overall hasn't actually lost that much power. It is bad that it's no longer going to pull Totem Golem or Mana-Tai Totem. Those were very, very good options for it to pull. But Totem Shamans aren't overall going to care that much about it, because the key fact of it is their totems that it's pulling. If you have a Tuskar for Totem Shaman, doesn't matter what totem it pulls, it's still going to be getting the +2 attack from your what's it called, the Kodo thing that gives +2 attack to all totems. It's still going to be providing an extra totem for your Primal Fusion. It's still going to be dropping your Thing from Below by 1 cost, and it's still going to be affected by Totemic Might if you run that. There's a lot of totem cards. It helps to have a lot of totem cards for the Totem Shamans, but this means it's not just an instant include in Shaman because of its potential. It's a good change. Kind of wish that they'd go on as spot on with this as they did with Rockbiter, but still good change. Call of the Wild, 8 to 9 mana. Honestly, could it be 8 to 10? But at least they're nerfing the card. It's already insanely strong, like 10 mana. Even then, it's still really, really strong. But at least at 9 mana, it's going to be coming out 1 turn later. It is still going to be an automatic include in Hunter decks, Blizzard. Don't think that making it 9 mana is going to change that. Still an instant include, but it's at least going to come out a bit later. Warrior class has access to large amount of removal. Want to continue? Yep. Provide more. Increasing cost 1 to 2. Yeah. I mean, it's still definitely going to be run. This barely changes anything at all. It just means that it's a bit more costly to remove something. It's still very powerful. I can understand entirely why this is the case, but it could probably stand to be 3 mana and it would still be very viable and run, and probably a bit more in line with its value. Still 2 mana is more in line with its value than 1 mana. And when I say that it's more in line with its value, I mean compared to other class removal cards. Because honestly, every class really needs better removal cards except for maybe Paladin and Shaman. They're the only two that I feel actually have solid removal cards. Oh, I guess no. Mages do with Frost Nova Doomsayer, but hell, those like the board clear cards at least. They're the only ones I feel can really stand up, and Paladin doesn't have that great single removal, so I mean, arguably Mage and Shaman are the only two classes that actually have really solid all-round removal. Oh wait, no, Brawl for Warrior. So yeah, Mage, Warrior, and Shaman have all got solid removal things. The other classes, I'd say, more need to be buffed as opposed to having this nerfed. Charge, Team players combo style of play and continue. I'm not sure it's comboing styles of play. Oh no, we'll explore combo styles of play like combo, OTK kind of shit, I guess. I don't know what they mean by that. Like, if they say combo styles of play, I'm guessing they're referring to like using combinations of cards that would be more effective, but most combos that are used, because of the fact that in order for a combo to exist it needs to have a significant effect, means that most combos are just OTK ones. So unless everything was a bit less powerful, then overall combo styles of play are mostly going to still be OTK stuff, because having all of these cards that aren't necessarily good on their own means you're just at a disadvantage most of the time, because most cards that people run are just powerful on their own. They're above curve, they're too strong. But the charge change is good because it removes the Warrior OTK, which was frankly just kind of bullshit. Warriors have got the highest survivability out of any class, so they could just draw away and be very difficult to kill, while still being able to just instantly give someone towards the end. This was a bullshit thing. Glad they've changed it. the whole they can't attack heroes this turn thing, honestly, given that condition and how often charge is just used to go face, you could probably have made this like 2 mana and kept the +2 attack, and it would be pretty like I feel that as it stands, it's still got some uses. Like you could Grim Patron with this easy, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this still being if this will still be included and stuff. I've got to see. It's hard to make a call on it. I feel that there will be some people that will find clever ways to use this, but overall, it's going to remove the OTK warriors, which is a good thing. Oh, Abusive Sergeant. More aggro cards getting nerfed. Aggressive decks are stronger than we would like them right now, so you basically did like very little about the Shaman. You basically removed the control Shaman aspect of it and made aggro Shamans just a tiny bit weaker for their kill. So I mean, I guess removing Abusive Sergeant's extra attack will make it a bit more, like, a bit less powerful in the aggro decks. It's still going to be really probably used in aggro decks. The whole 1 attack reduction doesn't do much because it's basically a 2 damage charge, thanks to its if its effect goes off, plus the 1/1 creature, which is still good for 1 mana. That's like really, really good for 1 mana, but at least it's going to be a bit less capable of being on its own, and that's good. Uxron Hopens, most controversial card they've ever made. Some people love it. I am one of those people, and others hate it. We would feel like seeing Yogg in tournaments was not where we had originally hoped it would end up. And I can get that. I mean, like, honestly, I get why Yogg ended up in tournaments, because of the fact that due to his effect, he can turn the tide in your favor. He could kill you as well, but if you're already behind, why not play Yogg? And so that's it's not the card you'd see. They didn't want him to be the card you see frequently. Relatively weak in power level for nearly every class at every level, but is slightly above average in 2 decks. Temper Mage and Token Druid. I would argue my Spell Hunter is the one where it is the most powerful, given that it consistently gets off a 40 spell Yogg. But I think that's more of the issue with the Temper Mage and Token Druid just being really strong, and the fact that Yogg-Saron can turn the tide on for any class, regardless if you get lucky. It can screw you over too. We didn't want to nerf it so much that it couldn't still be fun for players who currently love Yogg. Yogg-Saron will now stop casting spells if during Yogg-Saron's battle cry it is destroyed, silenced, transformed, or returned to its owner's hand. Couldn't be a fun... You've killed Yogg-Saron, basically! What the fuck? Well, overload cast by Yogg-Saron will not cause overload to the players in the future. So, it now overloads you as well, which is completely reasonable. But now will end if literally anything happens to Yogg. If Yogg dies, silenced, transformed, returns to your hand, if freaking anything happens to Yogg, they have just been destroying Yogg-Saron. It's infuriating. This card, like, I had my Hunter deck literally built around this card because it was one of the funnest cards in the game, but now they have just destroyed it. This card is now pretty much unplayable. It's... oh my god. Oh my god. Like, okay, originally when Yogg-Saron was introduced, the way it worked is it would get off the entire spell set it had. No matter what happened, it would do all of the spells you cast. That's why I absolutely loved doing the Yogg-Saron Hunter when it came out. I'd have Bran set up behind like some wall of taunts as best I could. I'd try to defend Bran, that is. Most of my cards are spells, so it's not easy. And then got 80 spell Yogg-Saron. And the best part is that because the original Yogg-Saron, the way it worked was if someone died midway through it, it would keep going. Both players could end up getting killed by him. Both players could nearly die, and then Tree of Life could bring them all back. It was amazing. Then they made it that when Yogg-Saron kills you, now its thing ends. That made it a bit less lame, a bit less awesome, I mean, but it was still really cool. Instead, now what they've done is made it that it's pretty much pointless racking up all those spells. Now if you rack those spells up, Yogg-Saron's just going to kill himself and you get, what, like 5 spells off. Probably by the time. It's just... Oh my god. I cannot believe that they have done this to Yogg-Saron. Jesus Christ. Why couldn't you have nerfed N'Zoth? Why couldn't you have nerfed Cthulhu cards? Those were the problem cards. Yogg-Saron was a fun random card. This is the kind of shit you try to emphasize with your card game. You've got so many random cards that it doesn't make sense that you would pick the best out of all of those random cards, the most fun and interesting out of every single one of those random cards, and make it worthless. Fucking hell. Blizzard, why would you do this? Your Abusive Sergeant nerf was good, your Charge nerf was good. Execute and Call of the Wild, though overall play is still a bit below a well-deserved. Taskguard to Temple was good, Rock by the Weapon was pointless, but this is so shitty! How could you do this, Blizzard? How could you fuck up Yogg-Saron, the most interesting old god you put out there? God damn it!